You are looking at a small, fragmented piece of bone, buried beneath layers of sediment that took hundreds of thousands, even millions, of years to form. It is hard to believe that from such tiny fossil fragments, scientists have been able to reconstruct the story of humanity's very origins. For most of history, humans had only myths and legends to explain where they came from. But from the 19th century onward, fossils bearing features halfway between apes and humans began to be discovered, raising a question that would transform science. What if humans had not always looked the way they do today? Fossils are extremely rare. For a bone to become a fossil, it must be buried quickly, under perfect conditions, escaping scavengers, weather, and decay for millions of years. Thus, every fossil of our human ancestors is the result of an almost unimaginable chain of geological luck. In 1924, Raymond Dart studied the skull of the Taung Child, Australopithecus africanus. Its brain was as small as a chimpanzee's, but the position of the foramen magnum indicated that it walked on two legs. Initially, this discovery was dismissed, but after decades and many new fossils, the scientific community confirmed Dart was right. Upright walking appeared before large brains evolved. The next major piece of evidence emerged in 1974, when Donald Johanson discovered the famous skeleton Lucy, Australopithecus afarensis, in Ethiopia. Lucy lived about 3.2 million years ago. She had a small brain, like a chimpanzee's, but her pelvis, knees, and feet were already fully adapted for bipedal walking. This showed that the first defining trait of the human lineage was not intelligence, but the ability to walk upright, freeing the hands to carry food, tools, and infants. An even more direct piece of evidence lies at Laetoli, Tanzania. About 3.6 million years ago, hominin individuals walked across wet volcanic ash, leaving footprints that were preserved until Mary Leakey's team excavated the famous trackway in 1978. These footprints show heel strikes, rolling steps, and toe pushes, exactly like the gait of modern humans, proving that our ancestors walked upright long before they possessed large brains. In 1984, Turkana boy, a Homo erectus, was discovered near Lake Turkana, Kenya. This nearly complete skeleton showed a body already very similar to modern humans. Long legs, a frame suited for long-distance walking and running, while the brain remained significantly smaller than that of Homo sapiens. Homo erectus later became one of the most successful human species in history, lasting nearly 2 million years and expanding beyond Africa. Fossils reveal far more than just appearance. They tell us how our ancestors lived and cared for one another. Lucy showed signs of injury, possibly from a fall from a tree. Turkana boy had a healed spinal lesion, indicating he was cared for by his community long enough to recover. Later, the Neanderthal known as Shanidar I, who had severe disabilities, still lived to about 40 years old, demonstrating that cooperation and compassion emerged very early in human evolutionary history. In 2013, Lee Berger and his team discovered Homo naledi in the Rising Star Cave in South Africa. Though possessing a brain only about one-third the size of modern humans, Homo naledi had dexterous hands and may have deliberately placed their dead deep within the cave. Dated to roughly 250,000 to 300,000 years ago, they lived at the same time as Homo sapiens. This disproved the image of evolution as a straight line from ape to human. Instead, human history resembles a branching bush, many branches coexisting, many going extinct, and only one surviving to the present day. Alongside fossils, archaeological evidence continues to complete the picture. Stone tools from Oldoway Gorge show that our ancestors were making implements nearly 2 million years ago. Engraved ochre blocks from Blombo's cave, about 75,000 years old, reveal symbolic thinking, the precursor to art and culture. All this evidence tells the same story. The traits that make us human did not appear all at once. Bipedalism came first. Then free hands, tools, bigger brains, social cooperation, symbols, culture, and eventually civilization. Evolution proceeded in small steps, over millions of years of experimentation, adaptation, and extinction. Today, your own body still carries traces of that journey. The coccyx is the remnant of a tail, wisdom teeth are heirlooms of a larger jaw, and the appendix is a leftover from an ancient digestive system. These are not design flaws. They are historical records, preserved in a living body. Each fossil is just a small bone fragment. Each footprint is just a fleeting moment preserved by time. But when pieced together, they form a consistent and powerful story. Humans did not appear in a single moment. We are the product of millions of years of evolution, of countless generations that lived, adapted, failed, and endured. That story was never written in books. It has been unearthed piece by piece, from the very ground beneath our feet.